Die lewe sonder jou aangaan eende, wat ek sonder twyfel weet. Jy is nie net 'n nommer nie, en jy is deel van die groter prentjie. Daar's rede dat jy lewe, 'n doel vir jou bestaan. Daar's 'n plekkie in die son vir jou en my, 'n plekkie elkeen het 'n doel gekry. Al voel jy soos 'n sandkorreltjie klein wat in die grootste duin verdwyn. Jy vat my die hoogste hoogte se, die in die arend en die ander in die wind. Ons almal is maar sandkorreltjies klein, maar saam is ons die mooiste ding.
My mind's going blank now. What's happening? What, I can't remember. I'm gonna lose track. My mind's going blank now. What are you talking about? What the hell's going on here? Where the hell are we? My mind's going blank now. I can't remember. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What am I doing here? My mind's going blank now. Where am I headed? I keep forgetting I'm president. Where am I? No idea. Last night on the television, I was on a telephone rapidly rising and with I don't know. COVID has taken more than 100 years. Look, here's lives reflected in the NHEI. America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was foot in the brigade of seize the ill-begotten gains of Putin's kleptocracy. Yeah. NATO's purpose is to defend against aggression. Let me make that near and dear to you that you like to be able to. Anyway. My mind's going blank now. What's happening? What, I can't remember. I'm gonna lose track. My mind's going blank now. What are you talking about? What the hell's going on here? Where the hell are we? My mind's going blank now. I can't remember. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What am I doing here? My mind's going blank now. Where am I headed? I keep forgetting I'm president. Where am I? No idea. I don't think as the idea that I want to thank and recognize Dr. John Kingersong. Good song.
I can't get this to function at all.
My mind's going blank now. What's happening? What? I can't remember. I'm gonna lose track. My mind's going blank now.
What are you talking about?
What the hell's going on here? Where the hell are you? My mind's going blank now. I can't remember.
I don't know what the hell he's talking about. What am I doing here?
My mind's going blank now. Where am I headed? I keep forgetting I'm president. Where am I?
No idea. No idea. No idea. No idea.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas
And a Happy New Year. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas
Merry Christmas, everybody.
and a Happy New Year.
I'm saying bye to all the lies and all the times you cried, saying that I wasn't right, yet I was right by your side. You manipulator, playing games, your friends commentators, and I don't know what you say about our private conversations, but it's got them hating. Thanks to all the rumors you be claiming. It's cool, I'm done with you, so they can throw you a celebration. You gon' hate it when you see me with somebody living better. I'm trying to tell you that me just doing me gon' have you jealous.
Welcome back to everyone, and Merry Christmas, early Merry Christmas to everyone around the planet. It's that time of year. It's the Yuletide once again. Today is December 1st, 2024. Welcome back. Merry Christmas and a lovely day to everyone. You can see the snowman is back. The snowman is back. That's right, along with a few other things on the shelf. Lots of Easter eggs to find back there on the shelf today. Lots of Easter eggs. Welcome back. Let me say hello to everybody. Then we're going to get started with the Advent calendar. Advent. Sagt man auf Deutsch. Advent. Nicht Advent. Charles Van Onselen, the voice of reason, is here. Eric is here. Alan Kutza, Pablo Charlie, Val Cooper, Dylan Combrick, Emil Therick. And Teresa's here. Hakan Engman in from the Netherlands. Courtney is off to San Diego, one of the most popular spots in the world, for his training. What a tough life he's got there. Safe journeys there to you. Charmaine is here. Don't tell people in California you voted for Trump, okay? Hattie Tvis is back. Love your choice music. Well, thank you for that. And then Pablo Trump membership gifts day. I'm blackballed from buying one. Pablo can't buy one? Why? You mean with YouTube, not from us. Streamlab, not Streamfab. Yeah, exactly. It's a lab, all right. It's testing. I don't know why it does this. It's very frustrating for the better part of this year. Every time I want to use a video or something, it's motion. I've got to click it on, click it off because it does this freaking, epilepsy-inducing nonsense. Anyway, Pablo says Swapos win the elections. I don't know where you're getting that information from. There's conflicting information coming out. The only source that's reporting that Swapos ahead is Bloomberg. And you have to pay to watch their content, which I'm not going to do because it's a leftist, socialist piece of garbage that destroyed Business Week, the best business magazine on the planet, courtesy of the former scumbag, fake Republican mayor of New York, Michael Bloomberg, whose monopoly on his stock reporting machines made him a billionaire, anti-market scumbag that he is. We don't know who's won the election in Namibia, Dusty. They were still voting yesterday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 4 days of voting. We don't know who won. They're still counting ballots at this hour. Swapo probably have the largest amount, but did they get over 50% is the question. Robert ZA is here. Who else we got there? Dusty, welcome back to you. Marilyn Brokenshaw. Marilyn, how are things there? And I think I've caught, there's Hendo, and I think I said Erica earlier. So, all right, cool beans. Excuse me. All right, folks, let's get through the Advent calendars. I overdid it this year with Advent calendars. First off, here's one from, I think this one's from Aldi. I can't remember. I can't keep them straight. Anyway, so there you go. There's the first Advent calendar. Let's look for the first on here. I have to put these glasses on because the numbers are really mixed in the color very well there. So there's 2 at the bottom. Where's the 1 at? 7, 5. There's the 1 right in the center at the tree. There we go. What's the chocolate? It is, I don't know, it's like branches. I don't know what the hell that's supposed to be. Can you guys identify that? I can't. I don't know. Anyway, so that's the first Advents. Get a little carried away this year. So let's put that one up there. Let's do the second one here. One of these is... This is Aldi, maybe. Anyway, I can't keep it straight. Anyway, so... Where's the one? That's a 14. The numbers are very hard to read on here. I mean, even with the glasses on there, just barely show up. There's the one in the corner. Okay? If you guys can pick out these numbers this year, you're going to be amazing. Looks like a house. No, it's a snowman. That's a snowman. Little snowman. Okay? Teresa says, maybe you just want more chocolate. Well, of course I like chocolate. This is the best. And here's the one I picked up that was a surprise. Hello Kitty. I like the Hello Kitties. Here's the number 1 down here. Okay? Got to open it from this side, outside in. Let's see. And it is a Hello Kitty, a little kitty cat. There you go. That's the first one from there. Okay? That's a little bit darker chocolate. I don't know if I'm going to like that. Okay, that's a Hello Kitty. And a special thing this year, check this out. This year I have tea advents calendars. So this year, look at that. 2 for each day. Wow, 2 tea bags for each day. So here's day 1 on the advents calendar. Okay, up here on the top. Let's see what it says. How do you open this dang thing? Oops, I have to tear it. That's unfortunate. There we go. There we go. So apple cinnamon green tea. Smells good. Okay, that's day 1 for the tea advents. We'll be doing this every day up to Christmas. So from Benner, if it was Brenna, it would be German, but Benna, apple cinnamon green tea. Smells nice. All right, we'll have to drink that later on today. Can't exactly make hot tea sitting here at the desk. Anyway, how's the sound coming across? Let's listen to that. Tea sitting here at the desk. Sound is pretty good. All right. I like the tea one, says Charles. Very inventive. It is very creative. Everybody's doing the chocolates and the sweets, so it's something different there. Yeah, Advent's calendar galore. An excuse to eat more chocolate. Audie and Lidl. Yeah, okay, so watching the Philadelphia Eagles versus Baltimore Ravens today. Oh, hey, Pablo, enjoy your game. Latest results from Mozambique. Well, the ruling party won. Frelimo won, but there have been riots, and so we're waiting to see. There's supposed to be a coming together meeting of the parties. Chatham House arranged for, but then they backed out of it. So I'm not really sure what's going on there. Schnapps. I don't know about schnapps. I'm not a fan of schnapps. That stuff is harsh, man. Whew. Charles says, I need to get advent calendars for my children. I'll have to get me one. I'll get myself one, too, to be supportive. There you go. All right. Excuse me. We yet to have our first snowfall here. A couple flakes don't count. A genuine snowfall yet to occur here. I need to charge my mobile. So when I walk later on, I'm not running out of juice. Let me charge my mobile. Okay. Alrighty, there we go. Okay, so I thought I'd caught up with everybody here. So, Merry Christmas early. Can anybody spot the Easter eggs? There are Easter eggs galore on my program today. Anyway, you can sit here and probably guess all morning and you wouldn't get them all. So anyway, but the vaulted snowman is back. I know people are asking about the snowman. He is back once more, making another appearance this year. This year, for the final time, the Santa's beard is making its appearance, and after Christmas, this will be gone. Yes. Maybe the chocolate with some different alcohol flavor. Yeah, you guys and your booze, man. No. We tried the booze on Thanksgiving Day with the native bug. Chocolate with that would have been terrible. Oh, I can just imagine it because it was very dry, pinotage. Having chocolate with that would have been like, ugh. It'd be like eating Belgian chocolates, those dark chocolates. How do they eat that stuff? It's very vile and disgusting. Anyway, people love dark chocolate. I prefer just the milk chocolate. Yep, as a descendant of those who got the genetic mutation to allow us to be tolerant of lactose, I don't want to betray my ancestors' origins. So I will eat and drink milk products till the cows come home. Literally, till the cows come home. Chocolate goes with everything, says Charles. I don't know about that. Anyway, Marilyn says, very festive. Well, thank you, Marilyn. Sound is 5x5. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you. I love 80% dark chocolate with chili. Ooh, gross. What about a handlebar mustache? Well, I could do that, couldn't I? I certainly got long enough mustache hairs there. We'll see. Booze on Boxing Day is not good for your health. Why is that, Hendo? Boxing Day is coming up. That's December 26th, for those unfamiliar with it. Anyway, folks, so we should get on to the chat, or beyond the chat, and into the conversation. It's Sunday, so not a great crowd here. I noticed that Ronaldo set his stream for 12:30 my time, which would be 7:30 your time. I don't know if he's running late, or it's just a decision to base his off the fact that I tend to go 90 minutes, and so maybe he's doing that. But he does get a number of my viewers who disappear and abandon me when Ronaldo comes on. And then other folks kind of go there when I refer them there. So can't wait for my wife to make eggnog. Ugh, I don't like eggnog. I've never liked eggnog. As a kid, I drank it. I was like, ugh. It was without the alcohol. And with the alcohol, I like it even less. But people love eggnog. It's gross. It's like buttermilk. Oh, God, how can people drink buttermilk? It's the most disgusting thing ever. I do not understand that. Anyway, so earlier I went... this is going to be posted on Twitter, but I ran out of time setting up my Christmas decorations this morning. So I just wanted to share this very quickly here. This, I don't know how you're going to be able to see it, but this is what I purchased. It's a little bit of speck and some turkey and some buns, okay? This is Joe Biden's America. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, is nearly $45. $45. That's not even a pound of meat. $45. 6 buns, a couple strips of speck. There's 2 of those speck containers, by the way, and a little bit of turkey. $45. Turkey is now $9 a pound at the grocery store. $9 a pound. When I moved here just a couple years ago, turkey was just $2.99 a pound. During Trump's administration, during Obama's administration, it went to $3.99 a pound. And then it held steady when Trump was in office. $3.99, sometimes it was on sale. For $2.99, sometimes it went up a little bit higher. But generally, it was $3.99 a pound throughout Trump's administration. Then Joe Biden came in office, and now it's $9 a pound. $9 a pound.
They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country. Dogs.
Yeah, they're eating the cats. So
Eating the dogs, the people that came in, they're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
we may have to eat our pets if these prices keep up. Unbelievable, folks. So here you go. A few trees still have the leaves on them. A few trees still have leaves on them around here. This is a nearby park. Check that out. How gorgeous is that? Sorry, I'm trying to get a good angle there so you don't have reflection. That's a walking path that I go on frequently through a local park. And that probably has changed. That's a couple days ago. And that's the leaves. So pretty beautiful, huh? That's gorgeous stuff. Didn't have a lot of reds this year from the maples, which is unfortunate, but that's a pretty good shot there. Just beautiful stuff. Anyway, so, yep. Fall, lovely time of year. Lovely time of year. Well, these people don't know if you live in certain countries, then hunger makes you not care if it's a pet. Well, some people just like them as a luxury, like in Korea. Jamie Dimon for Treasury Secretary. That's not going to happen. He's picked the openly gay George Soros protege. Folks, let's just be very clear about Trump's cabinet. There's a lot to dislike about it. The conservatives are like, rah, rah, he's picking a great cabinet. But when you pick a George Soros acolyte, who is a billionaire only because of the generosity of George Soros, a man who nearly destroyed the United Kingdom, a man who has undermined democracy, the rule of law throughout the United States and around the world for decades, an evil, vile human being who turned in fellow Jews to the Nazis when he was a kid. Yeah, this is not something to be excited about. Bessert is not something to be excited about. Tulsi Gabbard is not something to be excited about. And there's a whole host of people who are Democrats who are part of this administration. And these people have betrayed the Democrats, and you can watch them betray the conservative movement, just like the fake Tea Party people like Marco Rubio and Michelle Bachmann. You wait and see, folks. You wait and see. We are not in the great shape that we think we are right now. It's time to be very concerned about some of these appointments. The Democrats don't like them because they just don't like anything. Only one thing should be canceled. That's the Christmas decoration for December 21st. Well, Matthew, I have an issue with people putting up Christmas decorations in October. That's what happens here. Here, before Thanksgiving, at the beginning of November, there were already people putting lights. I mean, one of the few houses in my neighborhood that doesn't have lights in the yard, just starting to put them up today, December 1st. To me, the Christmas season begins with Advent. As a Christian, that's when you begin celebrating this event. Now, I will give exceptions to those on different calendars, like the Ethiopians, whose calendar is different, and they celebrate Christmas, and the Orthodox, the Orthodox Church in Russia. I'll give them a break. I also have voodoo in Africa, so they might want to. I don't know about that. Voodoo doesn't eat people. Rosie won't make much of a meal. Ugh, gross. Who, Rosie O'Donnell? Ugh. Yeah, Charles, buttermilk's disgusting. Pablo says, how can people eat steamed crabs? The most disgusting thing ever. No, not at all. Steamed crabs are lovely. Steamed crabs are lovely and tasty. Yum, 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 yum. Yummy, yummy, my thing. Get in my belly. Get in my belly. Baby, the other white meat. Pablo says, Trump is targeting BRICS just like expected. I want we are on the same foot, you and Trump. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to talk about that. They should cancel Little Drummer Boy from playing in South African malls. Why is that? Yep. Nazi collaborator George Soros, insidious creature. Yep. Nazi collaborator. Turning in Jews. And he gets to live to be nearly 100. So it worked out well for him while others were sent to the chambers. Yeah. George Evil Frickin' Soros. Okay, let's get to the news, folks. First out of the gate, it's exactly what Pablo Charlie is talking about. He's dancing a Mimposian dance of joy is what he's doing right now. And that's because Donald Trump has threatened 100% tariffs on BRICS countries if they pursue creating a new currency. Now, I'll make a video about this, but President-elect Donald Trump said he would require countries that are part of BRICS to commit to not creating a new currency or face 100% tariffs during his administration. The idea that the BRICS countries are trying to move away from the dollar while we stand by and watch is over. We require commitment from these countries that they will neither create a new BRICS currency nor back any other currency to replace the mighty U.S. dollar, or they will face 100% tariffs and should expect to say goodbye to selling into the wonderful U.S. economy. Wow. Well, first off, this is bluster and bargaining power. He's not going to put 100% tariff on Chinese products. Just isn't going to happen. Not going to happen. Well, South Africa's responded to it, and much of the commentary is actually favorable. Much of it's actually favorable. It's coming across on social media. Look at this in the toilet paper of record by Sinenlanthala Masalela. And she wrote that newly elected U.S. President Donald Trump has threatened BRICS countries with 100% tariffs. And then she said some of the social medias agree with Trump. Nancy, 2011-2H, U.S. is not abusing its position, it's protecting itself from abuse. Unseat the dollar and pay full tariff sounds like a fair play. Jared Zede says, he who is the bigger stick and bigger economy makes the rules. That's how it's always been, and nothing will change that. Irie Rasta is, BRICS countries cannot have their bread buttered on both sides. Agreed. Wendy House's Hub, I like the idea of standing up to the bullies. The question is, do we have a plan or agenda to stand up, or is it just rhetoric? Russia had well-orchestrated plan for years to build reserves to cushion from shocks, and it's failed. Harry, 93731712, good Lord, can't people come with real names? Trump is running a business. He is the CEO, and the business name is USA. Crybabies will cry, but that's the way business worked currently, and will in the future. Only problem is that those in Louisiana don't like the rules and procedures. Yep. However, Madasenela said she rejects responses that say whoever has greater economic means. She says such supremacist paradigms enable pathologies like gender-based violence to prevail with impunity. Establishing a fairer world requires the challenging of bullies and related supremacists. So Donald Trump putting tariffs on foreign countries sending their goods into our country is gender-based violence. Wow, these people will reach any straw they possibly can. Oh, my goodness. Patrick says, I say good. Why keep helping ANC when they just insult the U.S. by making friends? Agreed. I have no problem with that. That means that AGOA is gone for South Africa. In fact, he does it because he'll have to suspend AGOA. But Donald Trump can't really pull off what he's saying here. It's a lot of threat. He's not just saying anything. Oh, you mean they'll just say anything? Yeah, they'll say, you're right, Pablo. They will say anything. The U.S. seeking to become the world's largest oil exporter is a white supremacist plot to undermine the economies of the developing world. Because the Americans producing oil means that we can't sell our oil. That means they're white supremacists. Matthew, be quiet. Oh, my goodness. The Lion of Damascus? I don't think so, Jonathan. Assad is the man who's destroyed his country. His father was much more effective. Hafez Assad was much more effective than this little twerp dentist. Well, according to Cyril Ramaphosa, the agreement has no influence on the Bella Act enactment. What exactly is going on here? AfriForum was crowing about their victory with the Bella Act, and I did raise questions legitimately. And let me see if I got a response from the person that I was talking to at hang on a second. So, yeah, anyway. Sorry, I was just looking. So the agreement bears no influence to the actual thing. So what's Ramaphosa doing here? Is he playing fast and loose with the truth, or is he really serious? So Ramaphosa says the agreement bears no influence. Really? President Ramaphosa acknowledged the agreement reached between Minister of Education and Trade Union Solidarity regarding the Basic Education Laws Amendment Act, but said it has little impact on ongoing discussions. During a public signing, Ramaphosa delayed the implementation of Sections 4 and 5 by 3 months to allow time for discussions. On November 28th, Siviwe Garuba announced an agreement with Solidarity concerning her powers. On Saturday, News 24 reported that Garuba clarified that Solidarity's process in the National Economic Development Labor Council, NEDLAC, is not a substitute for the ongoing consultations. So what's really going on here? Is this progress by AfriForum, which is crowed about it? Is this nonsense from Cyril Ramaphosa? Will these parts of the act be implemented, or will they not be implemented? Or maybe Cyril Ramaphosa is just trying to stave off the internal turmoil inside his own party. People coming after Cyril Ramaphosa, maybe that's what he's trying to do. What's this? I can't get this hoodie just right. That could be what's going on. Anyway. No, we want it now. Paul Mashatile needs to be quiet and deal with the allegations, the criminal allegations against him. That should be his focus instead of running his mouth, but it's still running his mouth. That's his hobby. No, we want it now. Paul Mashatile's race-hustling garbage. He pushes back on DA demands for Bella Act. Deputy President Paul Mashatile has assured ANC supporters the party is pushing back against the DA's demands to have certain clauses scrapped. Well, they've already been scrapped, according to the Basic Education Minister. The clauses under debate deal with policies on admission to state schools, proposing changes to the authority of school governing bodies to determine admission policy. The other clause deals with language in schools. We will continue to invest in the promotion of our indigenous languages. It is in this regard that we're convinced that we in government were correct to get the Bella Bill passed by Parliament. There are people who want to remove it. I was reading on social media that as I was coming here that there's an agreement somewhere that some of the clauses of the act should be scrapped. We are saying no, we cannot exclude the clauses. And I will turn the words of Paul Mashatile, the corruption-accused deputy president of South Africa, on him. He says, we will continue to invest in the promotion of our indigenous languages. Well, that's horse manure. When has the ANC ever promoted Tswana, Sotho, Nu, Xhosa? When? Afrikaans. These are indigenous languages of South Africa, if you want to use the term indigenous. Otherwise, the only indigenous languages are Khoi and sign language. The rest of you can just foot sec and shut up. Paul Mashatile is a race-hustling slime ball. Yeah, that's what I said. There you go. There you go. Hey, somebody tell Dan Quarter. That'll probably hurt his feeling. He'll put a new beanie on just because I said that. Yep. Wow. Penalties for noncompliance. Parents face imprisonment. Exactly. Exactly. That's one of my problems. They're going to put parents in prison for truancy. Well, not for registration, but also for truancy. This bill puts parents in prison for their kids not showing up at school. It puts parents in prison for their kids leaving school. They have no control. You turn your child over to the school, and they're responsible. You shouldn't be held accountable for their actions at school. Intended to advance education outcomes starkly highlights the NC's failure to acknowledge the practical realities many South African parents face. Exactly, PK. Eric had an early supper. Well, you missed plek in die zon. Okay, raising concerns about enforcement without correct. Exactly. Rural, impoverished, and otherwise disadvantaged parents are left in an untenable position where they might face legal repercussions or circumstances beyond their control. Exactly, PK. That's one of the major problems I have with it. The Solidarity and AfriForum are concerned about language and admissions policies. I'm concerned about those. I'm also concerned about the criminalization of parents' conduct. Yeah, there's no transportation. So you're going to put a parent in prison because they live in Northwest Province and there's no freaking transport to get them. They can't afford to pay for a combi to put their kids in a combi with some pervert who takes kids around, rides them around. No, I don't think so. Yep, these people are idiots. Free water, free electricity for politicians, judges, and traditional leaders. You are paying for traditional leaders. If you're an Afrikaner or a Boer and you're paying for traditional leaders, if you're ethnic German and you're paying for traditional leaders, you should be upset because you don't believe in traditional leaders. It's all horse manure. Well, but you're also paying for judges regardless of what your ethnicity, South Africa. Yep. Did you know that? Public office bearers such as cabinet ministers, their deputies, premiers, MECs, MPs, mayors, some categories of MPLs, judges, and traditional leaders enjoy free electricity at the state expense up to 5,000 Rand a month. Wow. This is despite Eskom demanding tariff hikes between 36 and 43% for next year, depending on whether the power utility supplies them or the municipalities. Wow. In the latest review of the perks enjoyed by politicians, judicial officers, and traditional healers, the Independent Commission for the Remuneration of Public Office Bearers states the cost of ministers and their deputies' state-owned residences is responsible to the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure. Wow. The Chief Justice, Deputy Chief Justice are also entitled to prestige accommodation and domestic services similar to ministers, deputy ministers, parliaments, presiding officers, and includes a 5,000 Rand a month for water and electricity. Any costs in excess of the determined amount per month per state-owned residence will be borne by the relevant member or minister. Wow. So I get housing military. You've got to put soldiers in barracks. Why in the world are you paying for such garbage? Why in the world are you paying such garbage? Well, like Puxatani Phil, who pops his head up out of the ground every spring to let us know if spring is going to come or it's going to be delayed. And Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma has popped her head up from her hovel. She's popped her head out of her cave, and she's looking around. And she's frowning on the GNU, like we give two flips about it. Yes. She shoots down the GNU. It turns on the MK party. ANC Lardass, it says heavyweight, but I'm reading Lardass. That means Lardass to me. Heavyweight means Lardass. ANC Lardass and Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma has expressed her disapproval of the government of national unity, saying that if it had been up to her, the ANC would not have formed a government with the DA. Well, listen, sweetheart, it's not up to you. There's a reason they sent your ass off to Addis Ababa. They shipped you to Addis Ababa for a reason. To get rid of you. Nobody likes you. NDZ, nobody likes you. There's a reason they shipped your ass off to Ethiopia. Yep. Dlamini-Zuma revealed that she turned down attempts by MK party members to recruit her. She said the DA had nothing in common with the ANC. Au contraire, mon frère. Le DA et le ANC, il y a beaucoup de choses ensemble entre les deux partis politiques. C'est vraiment, vous avez mentir. Vous avez mentir. Listen, Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma, there is very much in common with the ANC and with the DA. You just don't like to admit it. ANC likes state-owned enterprises. DA likes state-owned enterprises. ANC likes high taxes. The DA likes high taxes. The ANC likes race-based laws. The DA, despite his claims, likes race-based laws. It helps them gain votes. Yes, they like the state controlling things. The ANC likes to give money to the poor because they can control them. The DA likes to give money to the poor so that they'll be liked. There's very little space. Both parties are left of center. Just the ANC's over here and the DA's here. Neither of them are over here, or over here, or over here, like the ACDP. They are very much alike. They are kissing cousins, the ANC and the DA. It's just that the ANC is evil and the DA is not evil. That is the only difference between the two of them. But of course, her point will be that the difference is that the DA is white, even though only 1 out of 3 voters in the DA is actually white. 1 out of 3. Wow. Wow. From the outside, we can already see problems, in my view. For instance, when the president went to sign the Bella Bill, the Minister of Education refused to go. You can see from that alone there were problems. Why? Why is that a problem? She's not in the ANC. Why should she kowtow to the ANC? The NHI is not supported by the DA. Well, they say it's not, but they're doing nothing to stop it. The DA has hardly supported anything that helps black people anyway. Really? I'm sorry. The DA campaigned on raising the SASA grant, entrenching the SASA grant and raising the amount of money given to poor people. So how is that different than the ANC? They actually had a higher level that they wanted to propose than the ANC did. Yeah. But for me, it was shocked when the president said Putin is our ally and Steenhuisen said, no, he's your ally, not our ally. That's correct. Russia is not an ally of South Africa. There's no treaty alignment between the two of them. This is simply political alignment. And if Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma is so stupid, which I fully believe, that she can't make the distinction between the president of the republic acting as a political figure and the president of the republic acting as a president of the republic, then that's on her. That's because the ANC has bled the lines. They think, as you know, when you pull out your business card with your ANC, your business card says President of the African National Congress, President of South Africa, below that. Yeah, they have conflated themselves with the state. This is the problem. And Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma is a ANC lardass who is stuck in the past, and nobody cares what she has to say. Nobody cares what she has to say. But let's recount her greatest contribution to South African society. You see, when people zal, they roll the zal. And when people zal, they share the zal. Hence, we can have no cigarette sales. Yeah. Yep, no vision, that's why. Yep. Okay, what's this? Pablo says, not 100% true, says current, what, my analysis, the ANC and DA? Oh, they're very much alike, brother. Very much alike. Whoops, what the heck happened there? Oh, I pulled something off my shorts here. Hang on, let me put it back on. That's not good. There we go. Okay. Whew. All right, good evening. Why haven't the Zulu and Xhosa nations not developed the vocabulary of their languages so children can have school education preferred mother tongue? Good question, Meerkat. They can have in their mother tongue. Yep, but they ANCs refuse to do it. Also, Miss Plecky, damn, however am I going to get over it? Long story short, South Africa's been a republic, okay? Around 90,000 children in 50,000 child-headed households back in 2015. A stark reminder. Yeah, well, when you sleep with 11-year-olds and impregnate them, this is what you get. The GNU is a Mossad operation. Jonathan, I really think the Mossad doesn't have time for South Africa. They're probably a little more absorbed by Gaza. Who will they arrest in the child-headed households? Yeah, exactly. Bill's joke fixes nothing. You are right, PK. Exactly right. You're hitting it spot on. Those are other points. I hadn't even raised that point, but it's a valid point. I've talked about it in the past, but it's good that you stitched together. Your dad, Vladimir, can't even present on different front lines. Oh, what's this? Okay. The Bella Bill, while intended to advance education, starkly highlights the NC's failure to acknowledge practical realities made South African face. Yep. Jonathan and Pablo are having at each other. Okay, enough, gentlemen. And I use the term loosely. Behave yourselves. Okay, so where do we leave off? The transport minister, permanent, potential, endless, this is our token white person in the cabinet. The token white ANC member of cabinet, Barbara Creasy, the devout communist, is warning people not to drink and drive. What an astounding revelation. Transport minister urges road users to change behavior to end carnage on roads this festive season. Road crashes in South Africa cost the country's economy more than $205 billion in 2023. That's 2.74% of GDP. That's a shocking number if it's true. But it's mostly because of truck drivers, is it not? Road crashes have a negative effect on our country. Statistics are scary and staggering. In plain English, South Africa saw 11,833 people dying in 2023 because of crashes on our country's roads. About 5,360 pedestrians lost their lives on the country's roads. Wow. The people who died most at risk were in Gauteng, KZN, and Western Cape. That's because nobody drives in Northern Cape. 21.3% of road deaths involved hit-and-run accidents. That's insane. Alcohol and speed were two of the biggest contributors to road deaths. The highest number of road crash-related consequences have a significant impact on society. Statistics are sobering. In fact, they are. They are. Even coming from a communist, it's something worth listening to. Well, a kidnapping is happening every 28 minutes. Wow. The Gauteng precincts that had the most reported cases. Wow. Kidnappings increased 7% year on year. More than half all kidnappings took place in Gauteng between July and September. The province saw a 14% year-on-year increase in the quarter. 2,498 cases of kidnapping reported in the first 3 months. That's a kidnapping every 53 minutes. Wow. Wow. That's crazy. Kidnapping, just like Latin America, it's all the rage. Well, KZN ANC leader Mtolo is in trouble for calling out Cyril Ramaphosa. Boy, you just can't just speak your mind, the ANC. They will make you pay. KZN leader in the doghouse with some of the ANC for his election analysis. ANC's provincial secretary in KZN, Becky Mtolo, is in hot water with Ramaphosa after he presented a report saying the president's weakness contributed to the party's dismal showing in the province in the May elections. Well, he was right. He was right. He was right. So what? 10 more Zamazamas have surfaced and surrendered at Stilfontein. According to police spokesperson Brigadier Athalenda Mate, the men emerged on their own from Shaft 10 without help from any rescue effort. More than 1,300 Zamazamas have resurfaced and have been arrested, including children. Wow. An unknown number of minors remain underground with police stationed at all shafts around the clock. Police reported a 19-year-old who resurfaced on Thursday said he'd been underground for 6 months against his will. He said his brother told him there could be part-time work there. On arrival, he wanted to leave after seeing what the men were doing, but was prevented from leaving allegedly by heavily armed Zama bosses. He claimed to have mined 25 grams of gold. A 16-year-old resurfaced on Thursday, had gold wrapped around his nuts. Yeah, okay. So it's time for body cavity searches there. Pearl Mountain fire. Firefighters working overnight to battle and contain the flames. The Cape Winelands District Municipality's firefighting service made significant progress overnight containing this fire on Pearl Mountain. Helicopter water bucket incident caused minor roof damage to one family property, but was no further damage reported. Fire service reported significant progress overnight controlling the fire on the slopes of the mountain. However, it's not yet fully contained. Joanne Otto, spokesperson for the fire services, said the wind subsided on late Saturday afternoon. In the aid of cooler nighttime temperatures, crews managed to bring much of the fire line under control. Well, good luck with that. Western Cape fires. Well, a podcast about Donald Trump, South African podcast, is making outlandish claims about Donald Trump, none of which are supported by fact. It's just supposition, but that's okay. An analyst can use supposition. International HIV expert, they fail to name who that is, says the Trump administration will question South Africa's decades-long partnership with the U.S., the government's AIDS fund, PEPFAR. Well, right about that. Wrong about this. Since 2003, PEPFAR has invested more than $8 billion in South Africa's HIV programs. Well, it's a lot more than $8 billion. In 2024-2025 alone, $439 million from PEPFAR. $500 million in a single year to South Africa this year. Yeah, but this is the analysis. Trump will almost certainly cut funding for HIV programs supporting sex workers, gay and bisexual men, drug users, and transgender people, says an expert. Now, here's a problem with that, okay? It's Mitchell Warren, who heads New York-based advocacy organization, AVAC. Yeah, Mitchell Warren is full of shit. First off, notice how he says it will cut funding for sex workers, gay and bisexual men, drug users, and transgender people, trying to appeal and also try to make Trump look like an evil guy. The vast majority, over 96% of the people, if not more, who receive funds as a consequence of U.S. taxpayers giving money to the President's Emergency Program for AIDS Relief, PEPFAR, to South Africa are heterosexual individuals. Heterosexual. They're not gay, they're not sex workers, they're not bi, they're not transgender, and they're not drug users. That's a category of people who get HIV in Europe, the United States, and other places. By and large, that is not a category of people who get it in South Africa. There are people who fall into those categories, but 9+ people out of every 10 people who have HIV in South Africa are heterosexual individuals. So this is just a lie. Let me look up this organization, AVAC. I want to find out more about them. This looks like a gay rights group, and that's what this is. See, this is what happens when you talk to a specific body that is focused on just advocating for one group. AVAC and Mitchell Warren. Let's look this up. AVAC Mitchell Warren. He's been the director since 2004. Lives in Nyack, New York. Ooh, that's a tough spot to live. Very wealthy neighborhood. Mitchell Warren. He's a second connection for me. Okay. Global Advocacy for HIV Prevention. Spent 30 years devoted to expanding access to HIV prevention. Okay. What is AVAC? About us. Okay. International nonprofit leverages independent voice of global partnership to accelerate ethical development, equitable delivery of effective HIV prevention options. Okay. So why are they lying to people? Why are they lying? Why are they lying? That's a lie. Simply not true. Donald Trump may indeed try to end PEPFAR. Folks, the president's emergency program for AIDS relief is 21 years old. When will Africans take responsibility for their actions and their government take responsibility for their own citizens? Why do I have to spend $500 million providing antiretroviral medication and treatment programs for South Africans? That responsibility falls on South Africa, not on me. Not on me. 8 billion rand per year. That's your responsibility, not mine. Charmaine's poor because she forgot to pick up her white privilege packages. Seem to have misplaced my card somewhere. Pack 30 people in a taxi and taxi meaning. Yeah, I know. They overload them. We are staying off the roads this December, especially. Well, I do that. I don't travel on the roads at night if I can avoid it in Pennsylvania because of deer, especially in the spring and in October, November when the deer are rutting. Yep. Also connected child-headed households. Okay. Countless children in South Africa fall victim of sex trafficking. That's true. Hey, Light Rain, how's it going? So Mitchell Warren is dishonest. The vast majority of people in South Africa who have HIV are not gay, bisexual, in the sex trade. No, they are heterosexuals at home getting it. And it's a consequence of behavior and poor education. And why am I paying $500 million for that? They rather blame the Vikings than take accountability. You are correct, Pablo Charlie. Well, Springbok veteran Willie Leroux, according to Rapport, the Afrikaans outlet, is leaving the Bulls. He's not going to take advantage of the third year of his contract. He's returning to Europe. Wow. At the end of the season, he will return. Willie Leroux will reportedly leave the Bulls at the end of the season and expected not to opt for an extra year in Pretoria with Jake White, according to Rapport. Wow. He joined the Bulls from Japan Rugby League Toyota for Blitz last year and played a key role in getting the Bulls to the final. Rumors have surfaced that Leroux, who previously played for the Wasp, could return to the Premiership, this time for Bath, where he would link up with South African Johan van Graan. Wow. Rumors are fueled by Rugby Pass report that Leroux was spotted at Bath last month. Van Graan is believed to be looking for a quality fullback, and the veteran Springbok seems his preferred option. Nearing the end of his career and sits on 98 caps for the Springboks, and head coach Rassie Erasmus has been open about getting the playmaker to the century, which will likely happen against Italy next year. He slipped down the pecking order with File Fassi, the clear first choice, having seen Damian Willem stay sidelined once again. The problem with that is Fassi is not the first choice. Willie is a far better player, and this is a poor decision by Rossi. And I will criticize this one decision by Rossi. Yeah. So Biden's long-awaited trip to Africa. Finally, at the end of his regime, he returns to a place he's never been. Of course, yes, Joe Biden has been to Africa. He's been to Soweto on Robben Island. Joe Biden sets off for Angola today on a trip that will deliver a promise to visit Africa during his presidency and focus on a major U.S.-backed railway project that aims to divert critical minerals away from China. The project, partly funded by U.S. loan, links the resource-rich Democratic Republic of Congo and Zambia to the Angolan port of Lobito, offering a fast and efficient route for exports to the West. At stake are vast supplies of minerals like copper and cobalt. Yep. And China is trying to revive a rail line on the other side of Africa between Zambia and Tanzania. Wow. Anyway, so I think he's going there to get his paycheck. A Ugandan landslide has killed at least 17 people. Death toll from a landslide triggered by heavy rain in eastern Uganda has climbed to 17. Occurred on Wednesday in the Bulambuli district, 300 kilometers east of Kampala, and buried dozens of homes across several villages. Footage on local television showed vast areas covered in deep mud where homes and schools once stood. Survivors wailed for missing loved ones as rescue workers dug through the sludge in search of survivors. At least 45 households completely buried, the Uganda Red Cross said. Ignatius Wamakuyu Mdimi, a lawmaker in Elgon County, said his niece, who had recently given birth, was among the victims. She was buried with the baby. Good Lord. It's horrible, folks. Horrible. Large swaths of the slopes of Uganda mountains have been denuded of their forests and other vegetation for arable land, increasing the risk of landslide. Correct. People are digging trees off of hillsides and putting farms there, and then they're subject to flooding. Syrian rebels have seized Aleppo in a lightning offensive as Assad finds himself in jeopardy. Syrian rebels wrest control of Aleppo from the Syrian government after 8 years. Fighters from the Hayat Tahrir al-Sham armed group have swept into the city of Aleppo after a lightning offensive, forcing the Syrian army to withdraw from the northern city after 8 years. The rebel assault is the most intense fighting seen in northwestern Syria since 2020, when Russia and Turkey agreed to a deal to de-escalate the conflict after government forces seized areas previously controlled by opposition fighters. Russia's Ministry of Defense said its air force carried out strikes on Sunday in support of the country's army. In Washington, the White House National Security Council said it was closely monitoring the situation and had been in contact with regional capitals over the last 48 hours. Wow. Peaceful protests against Assad after the Arab Spring, and it all began to fall apart over 12 years ago. Pakistan is making a surprise impact with solar power, which is undermining its grid but making people self-sufficient. Shocking increase in solar panels as a consequence of the price of cheap Chinese panels dropping by 90% in the past decade. Pakistan has grown its solar energy capacity by an astounding amount in a remarkably short space of time. The shock surge has given residents the power to survive blackouts, but it's threatening to disrupt the grid. The solar surge reached new heights in Pakistan, sparking what some experts are calling one of the fastest solar revolutions in the world. Thanks to cheap Chinese solar technology imports, Pakistan is expected to add an estimated 17 gigawatts of solar panel this year, which is more than a third of the country's entire generating capacity. The surge is probably the most extreme case that has happened in any country in the world with the speed that has happened. The growth in places Pakistan is this growth places Pakistan as one of the top installers of solar panels in the year 2024. Wow. Puts them in the company of much richer countries like China, US, and Germany. Countrywide, consumers, businesses, and industries are rushing to tap into the cheap renewable power source as an alternative to the erratic and expensive state-provided, largely fossil fuel-based energy. Pakistan's unreliable power grid, compounded by undersupply and poor infrastructure, means that millions of people live in constant uncertainty. Many households around the country have also been crippling by soaring energy prices over the past 3 years. Yeah, but now their bills are being cut. Wow. But the grid is now unreliable as the amount of demand during the day shrinks dramatically because of 1/3 of the power being supplied by solar panels, and it's disrupting the power balance. Tens of thousands of Ukrainian soldiers have deserted. Joe Biden's proxy war is going badly. Donald Trump will likely have the pressure he needs. To force a peace agreement. With no end in sight to their ongoing with Russia, tens of thousands of Ukrainian soldiers have deserted their posts, creating a critical problem for military officials only expect will worsen with time. The soldier shortage hampered Ukraine's battle plans as the Russian invasion nears the 3-year mark. This problem is critical, said Alexander Kovalenko, a Kiev-based military analyst. There's a 51-year-old soldier in Ukraine. Gee, many crickets. Some soldiers taken medical leave and never returned. Others have left mid-firefight. Entire units have also walked off the battlefield. The manpower dearth could put Ukraine at a serious disadvantage in future ceasefire talks. Wow. Over 100,000 soldiers were charged under Ukraine's desertion laws since February 2022. Estimated 200,000 Ukrainian soldiers have gone AWOL. Wow. So the North Korean government is sending 10,000 troops, but Ukrainians are all running away. Wow. Yeah, this isn't going well. Vilma's taking off. Got some visitors. Well, I hope it's good visitors and not the bad kind. Russia's ruble is in trouble, folks, but it's still worth less than a penny. And the piggy bank for propping up is running low, according to Fortune magazine. The ruble's come off lows from early in the week after the central bank halted foreign currency purchases for the remainder of the year, but it remains battered. On Friday, the central bank set the official rate at 108 to the dollar. That's while improved from 114 in the spot market, but that means the ruble's worth less than a penny. Wow. Poor Vlad. The ruble's worth less than a penny. It's tumbled 9% against the dollar since November 21st, when the U.S. sanctioned 50 Russian banks, including Gazprom Bank. Wow. Wow. Okay, well, Russia's got problems. Ireland's elections, they continue to count votes today in the Irish general election, but the three main parties are leading. 60 of the parliament's 174 seats have been filled, with counting resumed today, waiting for update from Sunday's counting. So, exit polls show that Sinn Féin is the top vote getter in the election, just barely ahead of Fine Gael. Fianna Fáil at 19.5. These are exit polls. The problem is that no one wants to sign up with Sinn Féin, so the other two parties will align. An exit poll in the Republic of Ireland suggests that Sinn Féin has 21.1% of first preference votes, with Fine Gael having 21%, making the result of the general election too close to call. The poll indicates that Fianna Fáil has 19.5%, suggests that 20% of the second preference goes to Fianna Fáil, and Fine Gael with Sinn Féin at 17%. The exit poll was published at 2200 local time, carried out by Ipsos BNA for RTA, the Irish Times, T4G, and Trinity College. Margin of error 1.4%. So we don't know who's winning, but we will see. Results of the poll were set for the official county votes, which starts at 9 o'clock Saturday, expected to continue across the weekend. It's possible that 43 constituents may not have a final result until the beginning of next week. Wow. There were 680 candidates competing for 173 seats. Well, there you have it, folks. Ireland's still counting the votes at this hour. However, it looks like, according to The Guardian, that those second and third place finishers are going to form a government. Sinn Féin's leader, Mary Lou McDonald, vows to fight for Left Alliance for government as Greens face a wipeout. And there's the Fine Gael's party leader, Simon, with his wife and kids. Ireland has bucked the European trend of elections going against incumbent governments, with two of the parties in its ruling coalition in pole position to lead the next parliament. An exit poll showed an appetite for change, with 60% backing opposition parties, but the prospect of an alternative left-leaning government still looks unlikely to materialize. So, there you go. There's Mary Lou McDonald from Sinn Féin, which is not going to lead this next government. Well, the little scumbags who've been attacking J.K. Rowling, the ungrateful little twerps, the ungrateful little pricks who became multimillionaires and world famous for their shitty acting skills in the Harry Potter movies, including one known as Rupert Grint gasbag, who attacked J.K. Rowling, is in trouble because this little slimeball failed to pay his taxes. Yep, magic can't save Harry Potter star Rupert Grint from a $2.3 million tax bill. UK's tax agency said Grint had wrongly classified $5.7 million in residuals from the movies as a capital asset rather than income, which is subject to a much higher tax rate. Former Harry Potter actor and slimeball who attacks J.K. Rowling for her defense of women, Rupert Grint faced a $2.3 million bill after he lost the legal battle with tax authorities. Ron Weasley, this weasel in the series, will have to pay it. Wow. The 36-year-old starred in all 8 Harry Potter films between 2001 and 2011 and is calculated to have earned $30 million from the role. He previously lost a separate court battle of a $1.2 million tax refund in 2019. So here's a tax cheat, Rupert Grint, who attacks women. There you go. Canada's oil patch is concerned about Trump's threat of a 25% tariff. Woo. Yeah. Canada's oil-rich province of Alberta, there's a deep sense of unease over President-elect Trump's threat to impose a 25% tariff on Canadian goods. And there should be, because Canada doesn't deserve cheap entry into our marketplace because of the evil Juicy Trudeau. Well, Donald Trump, once again, as I mentioned earlier, has threatened a 100% tariff on the BRICS nations if they go against the dollar. Good move by Trump. Let's see what happens. President-elect Trump on Saturday threatened 100% tariffs against a bloc of 9 nations if they act to undermine the U.S. dollar. Yep, there you go. While the U.S. dollar is by far the most used currency in global business and has survived past challenges, members of the alliance and other developing nations say they're fed up with America's dominance of the global financial system. The dollar represents roughly 58% of world foreign exchange reserves, and major commodities like oil are still primarily bought and sold using dollars. The dollar's dominance is threatened, however, with BRICS' growing share of GDP and the alliance's intent to trade in non-dollar currencies. Good luck with that with Donald Trump back in the scene. Trump says he will nominate Kash Patel to be the director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. That's not going to go well with the left. They're going to hate this. President-elect Donald Trump turned to a firebrand loyalist to become director of the Bureau, which he sees as part of a deep state conspiracy against him. Yep, he wants to replace Christopher Wray with Kash Patel. Patel has been closely in line with Trump's belief that much of the nation's law enforcement and national security establishment needs to be purged of its bias and held accountable for what they see as unjustified investigations and prosecutions of Trump and his allies. Yep. Kash Patel, who was in the Department of Defense previously. Well, after months of claiming he supported Israel, what does Joe Biden do? He walks out of a Nantucket bookstore carrying an I Hate Israel, I Hate Jews anti-Semitic book written by who else but a Columbia University professor. There you go. The final insult. This is the front page of the New York Post. After months of undermining Israel, Biden shows off book claiming Jewish state shouldn't exist. The 100 Years' War in Palestine by Rashid Khalidi. That's the book that he walks out of a Nantucket bookstore with. Wow. Look at that. Look at that. And comments on social media say, I really understand why POTUS did this. I think this is by Greta Van Susteren. I think it was deliberate. He knows the press corps is with him and watches all that he does. He could have gotten a bag. He could have had Secret Service carry it. That is why I think it's deliberate. Yes, it is deliberate. So Scott Boras says, really? Things he accomplished in office: screwed up immigration on purpose, violated people's rights, caused so much inflation it caused banks to fail. Yep. So, Joe Biden. And that is going down very poorly in America. And here's the story. Biden picks up anti-Israel book on Black Friday shopping 4 years too late, says the author. Retiring President Biden hit the shops on Black Friday and surprised onlookers by picking up a copy of a book describing the establishment of Israel as colonialism that's been met with Palestinian resistance. And it's an acquisition its author bemoaned was 4 years too late. The book argues that the modern history of Palestine can best be understood in these terms: as a colonial war waged against indigenous population by a variety of parties to enforce them to relinquish their homeland to another people against their will. The Jews are indigenous to the Middle East. They are Semitic peoples. Oh my goodness. Khalidi, who is of Palestinian and Lebanese descent, refers to President-elect Donald Trump's first administration as a mouthpiece for Israel and accuses Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu of leading the most extreme government in the country's history. The Arabic studies academic also slams what he describes as a slanted press coverage in favor of Israel. I do not speak to the Post or the Times for that matter. This is not for publication. But my reaction is that this is 4 years too late, he told the Post, after he said he wouldn't talk to the Post. Oh my goodness. Here's the book, folks. Here's the book. The 100 Years of War on Palestine. A landmark history of 100 years of war waged against Palestinians from the foremost U.S. historian of the Middle East, told through pivotal events and family history. Historian from the U.S.? He's from Lebanon. In 1899, Youssef Dia al-Khalidi, mayor of Jerusalem, alarmed by the Zionist call to create a Jewish national home in Palestine, wrote, there is no Palestine, it was a province of the Ottoman Empire in 1899, wrote a letter aimed at Theodor Herzl. The country had indigenous people who would not easily accept their own displacement. Well, Jews have been displaced previously. I love how they conveniently ignore the facts. The Jews were kicked out of Israel. Most of them, not all. Anyway, this book is pathetic. You can get the paperback on sale 42% off because nobody wants to buy it. It's garbage. Let's see if the hardback is on sale. The hardback is 30% off. Yeah, you can get 30% off to buy this garbage book written by this Columbia University professor who clearly hates Jews. Yeah. Paulie's given a super chat, and I have not seen it come up. That would be the first super chat of the month. Paulie, thank you for that. 99 Rand, get us started. Cool beans. Thank you for that. The FBI is warning use of Chrome, Safari, and Edge. Microsoft, Google, and Apple browsers are all being targeted. Don't buy from these websites. Well, be careful, folks. Black Friday is now here. It's clear the dangers facing online shoppers are greater than ever. The latest report suggests scam websites have surged 89% over last year. Almost 80% of shopping offers hitting inboxes are fraudulent. Wow. Little surprise then, the FBI has released a new warning for online shoppers, setting out the sellers that must be avoided on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and throughout the holiday season. For all users of Chrome, Safari, and Edge, which control 95% of the U.S. browser market, this is a must-have checklist to stay safe. Yep. Do not buy from websites until you carefully check the URL and ensure it's legitimate and secure. Do not buy from websites for the first time until you've done some research. If you're using an auction site, be wary of sellers with mostly unfavorable feedback. Don't buy from sellers that act as authorized dealers. Also be aware of any sellers who post an auction advertisement as if they reside in the U.S. but then respond to questions by staying there out of the country. Yeah, be very careful, folks. Be very, very careful. Jews and Muslims live in peace before the state of Israel was formed. Yes, because they were overlorded by the Ottomans who kept them from killing each other. Northeast and Midwest brace for more snow, folks, from the Great Lakes storm. Lake effect snowstorm has disrupted holiday travel across the region. Some areas could get 6 feet of snow by Tuesday. Good Lord. We don't have any here, thankfully. Kimberly Stolar was glad to be off the roads in Erie on Saturday. Not that she had much choice. She couldn't open her front door no matter how hard she pushed against an estimated 50 inches of snow that drifted over. She knew her SUV was somewhere in the driveway, but she couldn't tell exactly where. I'm just trying to ignore the fact that I can't get out of my house and just be thankful for what I have in my house, said the 33-year-old Erie native. Parts of the upper Midwest and Northeast, particularly western New York and Pennsylvania, were embracing for more snow on Sunday after getting blanketed with more than 2 feet over the holiday weekend. More than 2 million residents across Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and New York were under lake effect snow warnings on Sunday morning. The Weather Service said snowfall on Saturday was heaviest along Interstate 90, which hugs Lake Erie from Buffalo through Pennsylvania and on to Cleveland. Erie and parts of northern Michigan, eastern Ohio, and western New York received around 30 inches of snow. Wow. Check that out, folks. Woo! That's some snow there. That's in Mill Creek Township here in Pennsylvania. Some of the most dramatic scenes of the storm were out of Erie, a place that just voted in the election. There's whiteout conditions in Angola, New York. Joe Biden is in Angola, Africa, but this is Angola, New York. On Friday night, Miss Miller said, we've kind of accepted we're stranded. We don't know what's happening. She said Saturday she was in the clear after 2 a.m. and she finally reached home in the afternoon about 24 hours after leaving Buffalo. According to AAA, the automobile organization, nearly 80 million people are expected to travel for Thanksgiving this year. About 3 million people in the U.S. were expected to travel by air on Sunday alone. Towns across western New York were embracing for more snow as Governor Kathy Hochul, who hires Chinese spies, declared a state of emergency on Friday for nearly a dozen counties. Parts of Buffalo could receive 20 inches of snow through Sunday when the Bills host the 49ers in nearby Orchard Park. So we might want to watch that game. It's covered in snow. Shawnee Groves is here. She says, holy crap, there's a snowman in there. Yes, there is. Check out them lights. Yeah, check out the lights when I turn off the lights. Here you go. Let's turn off the lights. There you go. Do they know it's Christmas? There you go. Right. So, wow, people are just buried in snow. Well, Kamala Harris, weeks after the election, is still begging for money. She's still campaigning. Kamala Harris is pumping Democratic donors for cash after her blowout election loss, but it's leaving supporters spent. With Trump dominating MAGA loyalists left and right, there's nothing more important than making sure we can fight back and hold him accountable, she wrote in a post. That's why we need you to step up today. Yes, today. Our records show that you haven't pitched in to support our Harris Fight Fund program yet. We know the election didn't turn out as we'd hoped, but we're not backing down. Oh, shut up. She raised $1.5 billion and blew it in just 15 weeks of campaigning, finishing the race with around $20 million in debt. The nonstop panhandling sends the wrong message and is alienating voters. Yeah, well, good. Good. Keep alienating those leftists. We love it. Well, MSNBC faces an uncertain future as Comcast seeks to dump it and CNBC and others. Comcast spinning off the cable news network, and Elon Musk has joked about buying it. What does the future hold? For years, cable news channel MSNBC has been a reliable liberal voice in the U.S. media landscape. No, a bunch of lunatics is what they've been. But amid the return of Donald Trump and its own business upheavals, the network is in crisis. The world's richest man, a close Trump ally, has even joked about buying it. Audience fatigue with Trump's re-election. High-profile NBC News host potential missteps in reaction to the event could make it difficult for the new company to boost the channel's ratings. Yeah, well, you need to gut this thing. During Trump's first term, MSNBC really stood as a center for resisting and critiquing Trump, says Catherine Kramer Brownell, associate professor at Purdue University and author of 24/7 Politics, Cable Television, A Fragmented America. Well, Catherine Kramer Brownell, you are clueless. In 2016, they averaged 4.2 million people tuned into CNN, Fox News, and MSNBC. But that number dropped to 3.8 million now. Yeah, well, CNBC and MSNBC are toast. They're toast. This idiotic concept of Bill Gates and NBC is coming to an end. St. John's basketball legendary coach Lou Carnesecca has passed away at the age of 99. Lou Carnesecca, the only child of Italian immigrants who ran a grocery store in Manhattan's East Side and became one of the most colorful and successful coaches in college basketball history during a 24-year career at St. John's, died Saturday afternoon at age 99. He would have turned 100 on January 5th, retired from coaching in 1992, but kept an office on Queens campus for more than 30 years in his role as an assistant to the university president and remained a presence at many of the team's home games until 2022 at the age of 97. St. John's community mourns the loss of Hall of Fame coach and St. John's legend Lou Carnesecca. Coach Carnesecca passed away peacefully at the age of 99. A 1959 graduate of St. John's, Carnesecca was also coached the ABA Nets for 3 seasons, 1970-73, before returning to his alma mater. His teams, then known as the Redmen, reached a postseason every year he was in charge, including a Final Four appearance in 1985, when 3 Big East schools, Villanova, Georgetown, were the others, reached the semifinals. With a raspy voice and the latter stage of his career sporting a pair of the worst-looking sweaters ever designed, his teams won 526 games and lost 200, and he spent more than 24 players to the ABA and NBA, including Chris Mullin, Mark Jackson, Jason Williams, Bill Wennington, Billy Paultz, George Johnson, Walter Berry, and the late Malik Sealy. Voted Big East Coach of the Year 3 times, inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 1992. Wow, before he retired. Never took credit for his considerable achievements. Often said he owed everything to his players. I don't do anything. If I could coach, I would coach my guy to score a basket every time. That would be my strategy, he said. When you're young, you think you're a genius. You think you know everything about coaching basketball. Hey, let me tell you something about basketball. I'm coaching the Nets. See, I got Rick Barry, and he takes us to the ABA Championship Series. Next year, I got the same players, same plays. Only I don't got Rick Barry, and we lose 53 games. He had a 114 and 138 record with the Nets. In those days, played their games in Long Island. Yep. He never warmed to professional game, despite having 2 years remaining on his 5-year, $50,000 a year deal. They agreed to part ways. Returned to St. John's and began coaching at the college level and did so for 24 years. Lou Carnesecca, a legend of collegiate basketball, has passed away at the age of 99. Fair winds and smooth sailing, Lou. Well, we've become a tourist trap. Juneau, Alaska, not happy. Amusement park, the Alaskan town torn apart by cruise ship tourism. Juneau's residents divide over whether to embrace the economic benefits of millions of visitors or reclaim their town from an industry that has reshaped it. The noise never stops, says Carla Hart, her voice competing with the hum of approaching helicopters. I can feel them before I see them. She looks at her phone to check a website that monitors air traffic and identifies operators. Hart wants to know whether the pilots are adhering to legal flight routes. A few minutes later, 5 helicopters flying in formation crisscross the gray October skies above Hart's home in Juneau, the capital of Alaska. I get groups of 2 to 5 helicopters flying over my house every 20 minutes on any given day. That adds up to 50, 75 flights. It's impossible to enjoy my garden or concentrate on work. For Hart and other Juneau residents, the noise from helicopters shuttling cruise tourists to remote glaciers is one of the many reminders of how their lives are being upended by a city that has embraced industrial tourism. One of the most remote towns in all of America, Juneau, is accessible only by sea or air. The waters surrounding it are traditional fishing grounds of Alaska's indigenous communities. And it gets a lot of cruise ships now. Under an agreement, the city of Juneau, up to 16,000 cruise passengers disembark daily from Sunday to Friday, with a cap at 12,000 on Saturdays. Annually, cruise passengers outnumber the local population by 50 to 1. A town of 32,000 and 50 times as many people visit the town. You would think that would make them happy, but it doesn't. It doesn't make them happy. What's going on here? How is the snow? I have no snow, Robert said, No snow outside. Erica says, I can't wait all the Dems to step down January 29th. It's January 20th. But I have a sneaky suspicion that they're going to cause a lot of trouble for them. They're already causing a lot of trouble. Lake snow effect, 6 feet. Yes, Shawnee, that's a lot, man. That's a lot. UAE has normalized ties to Israel, hence why it's a prosperous country. Buy yourself not a flamethrower. Yeah, flamethrower would work. Welcome to the Christmas time, says Dylan. What did Ken say that Erica missed? Erica and Harris takes over. No, the 20th. The 20th. Puppets have to work fast. They don't have much time, so Trump takes over. Yep. That snowman has become an old friend. It has. He's been there for a few years now, hasn't he? Yeah, there he is. Yes, I got all kinds of stuff on the shelves now. Yep. PK's don't know how Kamala is still relevant. No American voted for her to run, and even when she did, she was beaten by Tulsi. Yep. The Italians saw Lake Como and decided to move to New Jersey. Talking about communism, the Democratic Party in your country seems to do everything they accuse everyone. Exactly, PK. Kamala isn't accepting very well that she's a has-been now, and she owes millions. Well, she's never was. Erica, wrong. A never was wannabe. Yep. Just a snowman. Anyway, here's a really sad story, folks, with a nearly tragic ending. I'm going to read what happened here. This is heartbreaking. I don't know what happens to people in custody cases. This is really, really beyond the pale. But the little girl survives, but she's going to be scarred by what happened. Let's talk about this story, which appears in the New York Post today. A 7-year-old girl heard begging her father not to kill her before cops shoot him during a standoff. I don't want to go to heaven today. Oakland Alexander can be heard on 911 audio telling her dad she doesn't want to go to heaven. Newly released 911 audio revealed the horrifying moment a 7-year-old Ohio girl begged her armed father not to kill her during a standoff with police. Oakland Alexander was kidnapped by her non-custodial father, Charles Ryan Alexander, 43, from her grandmother's house in Jefferson County, eastern Ohio, on November 11th. An Amber Alert was issued, leading to police pursuit as he fled with his young daughter, according to Medina County Sheriff's Office. Police eventually deflated Alexander's tires and forced him into a combative standoff with cops in a parking lot. There is a photograph of her with her mother and her father when she was younger. Chilling audio of Alexander on 911 reveals the father, who was armed, threatening to kill his daughter, and himself screaming, "I will shoot us both, stand back." Little Oakland can be heard begging in the background, repeatedly telling her father, "Please don't." With a gun in his hand, Alexander also threatened the girl's mother, telling her, "I want to talk to her mother. If you're listening, Ashley, you should have called." The audio then muffles before Oakland asks her father if they're both going to heaven. "How do you know we're going to heaven?" she asked her father. "We'll both go?" Oakland presses her father further, asking, "I am going to heaven?" As she realizes what that means, she quickly yells, "No, I don't want to go to heaven today." Oakland can be heard pleading with her father. Her father then tells her, "I didn't want it to happen either. I just wanted to talk to your mother." One of the 911 dispatchers interrupts, telling Alexander, I know you didn't want to hurt your daughter, and you didn't want it to be like this. Let's not do anything we can't undo," the 911 dispatcher tells Alexander. Oakland can be heard asking again and asking if she's going to heaven today in the background, at one point crying out, "I don't want to." Another dispatcher tries to talk Alexander down, telling him, "Just keep talking to her if you don't want her to be scared. Let's not do anything that is going to make it even more unfair to her, because you love her. I know you do." At some point during the call, police opened fire and killed Charles Alexander. Oakland was safely returned to her family after watching officers kill her father. A family friend has set up a GoFundMe to go toward caring for Oakland during her mother's time off from work, mental health experiences, and additional costs for her future. Nearly $8,000 has been raised for the girl's family as of Sunday. What a horrific situation. What an absolutely horrific situation. That girl is going to have to live with her father being shot in her presence for the rest of her life. Wow. Light Rain says they moved to Alaska to get away from people, ended up in a Disney food court. He's 100% correct on that one. 100% correct on that one, Light Rain. That lightened my moment there. It's kind of a sad story to talk about. Yeah, that's just wow, Shawnee. I know, isn't it horrible? People are just crap. They really are. This poor little girl, 7 years old now, will have to live with that forever. It's amazing what happens to people and how this girl will she survive. I mean, as a young child, I was exposed to a truly horrific situation, which I don't often share. And since it's in the vein of this, I'll share it now. My parents had already divorced. We were living in that housing project near Crownsville, 300 black families, 3 white families. My father's girlfriend was at the house. My father was out working or whatever. And my friend Goody and I were out playing. And we came back. I think we were riding our bikes. And I heard screaming and my name being called. It was a blood-curdling scream. The apartment was below ground. Now, Goody's apartment was on the other side, but it was open. That was where the ground was, because it was kind of like slope, and so the apartment building's built into it. So our apartments on that side, before you go down the stairs, were underground, although the other side, his adjacent, was open. So anyway, looked down in the windows, and I could see what looked like blood all over the place on the tile floor in the kitchen dining room. And my father's girlfriend was screaming my name, "Chris, help me, Chris, help me, Chris, help me." I went downstairs and tried to open the door, but the door was locked. I couldn't get into the apartment. And I tried to get in. I was frantic. And I don't remember if Goody and I went and told his mother to call, I think it was his mother, to call the police or the ambulance, call someone to help. My father's girlfriend tried to commit suicide. She sliced open her wrist, and her blood spurted all over the place. And the whole time she was screaming for me to help her. It was a horrific situation, and I was there when when the EMTs came. They strapped her down into the gurney and were treating her. She survived. She was put in a psychiatric ward, and I don't recall ever seeing her again. But what a horrific situation that was like 1974, I think it was, 73 maybe. I was 8 or 9 years old. And you either survive that or it destroys you. And there's much more gore to the story. I've kept it PG rating here, so you don't hear all the horrible things that I experienced that day as a young child. Life is hard enough without people acting so stupid. This young lady, I have nothing but empathy for her. She's going to have a tough life. And hopefully she's strong of character so she can overcome this. Just really, really unfortunate. Really unfortunate. Beautiful little girl. Anyway, the world is full of bad things. Why do people make it worse than it needs to be? Speaking of making it worse than it needs to be, I'll get to that in just a moment. So kids just need a life of love, care, and nutrition. Oh, and discipline. They need examples and discipline as well, Shawnee. You have to give kids discipline. Kids, let's just face it, if you let them get away with things, they'll get away with things. Go clean your room. They don't clean their room. Yeah, you need to do something. So, well, that's official. Oakland is the next great evil villain. No, I don't think so. Kids just need, okay, makes angry. I'm so sorry you had to go through that. No kid deserves it. Well, PK, that's just one mild episode. The fact that I'm not a psychotic, killer, a gangster, a drug dealer, or a pimp is just a miracle of my self-determination not to be a bad seed, despite all that I was exposed to in my childhood. So, yeah. So, anyway, my life could have turned out very differently, in many different aspects. There are many roads I could have taken along the way, but I chose to take the road that went down a good path. Yep. That's why when people attack me, their idiocy, their white supremacy, or, this, that, and the other, it's just people need to shut up. They don't know what they're talking about. Yeah. So, wow, what a thing for you to go through, says Erica. Yeah, no, Erica, there's a lot more. I don't share those sort of things, but anyway. And Shawnee agrees. Yes, they need discipline as well. Allison, good evening to you. You came in at a rather somber moment. Maybe she will become police officer emulating the people. Exactly right, Ray. Exactly right. Maybe she will become police officer, an EMT, teacher, business person. Yeah. Ken says, God, Chris, how terribly awful. Yeah, Ken. So, folks, when you meet someone, understand the person you're meeting is not simply the physical visage that you see in front of you. It's not the conversation you hold. If you meet someone and they're abrupt or brusque with you, or they're a bit rude, don't take it the wrong way. Maybe they are an evil person, or maybe they're a rude person, but it might just be that something's happening at that moment. It's like I had a conversation the other day with someone said, you come across as a colonel. Well, I go to great lengths to come across as a human person, engage with people, and I believe that's how I normally do it. I don't come across as brusque, except in certain situations where it's warranted. And I think the person misread the situation. And of course, I'm making my own assessment. And anyway, so I feel you. Thank goodness we have some good people who remind us to stay on the right road and always help others. Yeah. Well, in high school, I had two, they weren't intending to be mentors, but two teachers, Larry Householder and David Kunkler, who weren't intended to be mentors, but they inspired me to become more than I was and to achieve in life. And whether they realize, I know Kunkler knows that because I've told him that personally, but I haven't seen Larry Householder since high school, and I don't know if he knows that. But yeah, they did unintentionally inspire me. This is when teachers actually made a difference in life. They weren't indoctrination, teaching us that our genitals were evil and that we need to cut our testicles off because we're actually girls. And the girls need to cut their breast off because they're actually boys. And we should have sex at the age of 5, and perform fellatio on our neighbors. That's what teachers do today, a fair number of them. That wasn't happening when I was a kid, thankfully. I didn't have to deal with that nonsense. But yeah. No, look, when you see a person, understand there's much more to that person than your interaction. Ken, if I can. Ken and I have met. He's a lovely person. I really enjoyed the conversation, a great support of the channel. But I said something on my broadcast one time that irritated Ken, and he disappeared for a long time. And I didn't know where he went. And then one day he came back, and I found out that he was irritated with something I said. Well, we are all complex characters. The gray matter up here is full of all kinds of synapses that are firing or misfiring from time to time. I'm finding myself misfiring trying to remember names. I'm shocked I just remembered David Kunkler and Larry Householder. I thought I was going to have to pause and search for that for a moment. But we're all complicated characters with many things that have happened in our lives, and we need to remember that when we deal with other people. For instance, let's just be honest, and I don't want to hear anyone admit this, men or women. Cedric Stevens, hello. I don't need to admit this, but many women, at least 3 out of 10 women, are raped at least once in their life against their will. At least 30% of all women in every society. Think about that. So in this conversation, of the 10 women or 20 women that are here, let's say there's 20 women here, at least six have been raped at least once in their lifetime. It's something we don't want to deal with. And of those 100 people in the chat, at least 5 to 10 were molested as children by a family member, boys and girls. We don't like to talk about these things because they're uncomfortable, but that's why they persist. That's why they persist. And it's a horrific situation, but it's real. And I'm not asking anybody to disclose what happened to them in their lifetime. Please don't do that. Keep that to yourself. That's your personal thing. That's something you hold on to. It makes you stronger or it destroys you. And it's unfortunate that anyone should have to go through it. Children should simply be loved, treated fairly, disciplined, and taught to think and grow for themselves. That's why I think that one of the most amazing relationships you're ever going to find, and I'm biased, is a father and daughter relationship. If you have a healthy father and daughter relationship that teaches a girl to be independent and to think for herself and stand up for herself, and that's just an amazing situation. Yep. Tactical ranting for effect is not being brusque. Well, I've done ranting for effect. I've also admonished people for effect, and it works. All over different walks of walk. It's our attitude at the end that determines how our attitude we fly. Thank God I must have grown up in a different world. Yes, you did, Ken. Look, I live in the world's most amazing country, and I did not have the most amazing childhood. And I wasn't always treated fair as an adult. I've been discriminated against endlessly by politicians and their racist policies in America. Yes, that's right. A white Anglo-Saxon Protestant male. I've been persecuted in government, working against the concept of meritocracy, trying to promote people simply based on skin pigmentation. It cost me a promotion as a captain. I had to wait 7 months to get that promotion because of nonsense in the Clinton administration. It later cost me another promotion. And yeah, so anyway, yep. But that's the world we live in. And people that don't want to admit the truth or hide behind the facts are quite frightening. So earlier today, I was listening to the radio as I was coming back, and because I went out to get this second batch of lights. Yeah, this one over here. That second batch of lights to match this light. Because, oh, by the way, what a great deal. So I bought the lights over here a few days ago, and they were $2 off. I didn't know that. So when I rang them up, $2 came off, and I bought two of them. Like, ooh, save $4. Today I went back because I had an older set of lights that were different that were on this side, and they weren't as tightly knit, and so they were further apart. It looked crappy. So I went back this morning and I bought the second set of lights, and when I rang it up, it didn't take the $2 off. I'm like, oh man, it didn't take $2 off. And one of the ladies came over because it was self-checkout, and she said, there's something wrong. I said, no, I must have missed the sale. There must have been a sale. They were $2 off on these lights. Now there's nothing off. She goes, well, sometimes that comes off when you do the checkout. So let's go ahead and run it through. So she took my purchase and continued it, and it rang up one for free. They're $13.99, so I get one for free. That makes them essentially $7 a piece. Wow. So I'm like, cool. Let me go back and get two more. I went back and got two more. So I got 4 boxes of lights for the price of 2. Now that is more like a Donald Trump price from 4 years ago. Yeah, 5 years ago. So yeah, that was pretty cool. So I got this one over here, and I put those light string on. Now I've got the same light string on both sides, and that was a hell of a savings. Pretty cool. Yes, BlackRock recruited me. People in administration trying to recruit me. Yes, I've been recruited many times, many different people. Life isn't fair. That's what grows us. Yep, but still reluctant. Were you celebrating your big birthday? Where am I celebrating my big birthday? Well, what big birthday? There's no big birthday. I will be turning 59 again this year. For the second time. That's right, folks. Turning 59 again this year on December 25th, just 24 days away from my magical 59th birthday. Yep. Charles says CIA should pay more. Well, I think they should. Life is a crap show. How you deal with it defines you. Exactly. Exactly right. Life is a crap show. Horrible things happen to people all the time. Misfortune, accidents, and people don't need to make it worse. By the way, folks, it's not going to be a very Merry Christmas in the EFF house. I did have 2 more news stories. Let me get to those now before I forget them. Speaking of stupid things, Ohio State police confirmed the use of pepper spray during a post-game scuffle with Michigan. An ugly fight between the two rivals broke out moments after the Wolverines secured a 13-10 victory over the host. Michigan's dramatic 13-10 win at Ohio State turned ugly after the game as a fight broke out at midfield after Wolverines players attempted to plant a flag on the Buckeyes' midfield logo. Soon after the scuffle was finally quelled, reports emerged that police on the field used pepper spray to break things up. Following the game, officers from multiple law enforcement agencies assisted in breaking up an on-field altercation. Wow. So, thanks for the pepper spray, says Michigan football. Wow. A football game. It's taking things a little too seriously, folks. A little too seriously. A little too seriously. Wow. So here's the latest Manning family quarterback. Archie Manning comes in the game 4th down and scores an unreal touchdown. When Texas and Texas A&M's rival went to a hiatus after 27, who would have thought the next points of the series? Oh, what's this? Is this old news? Ellen DeGeneres has moved to the UK, and her house got flooded. Karma is a bitch. The couple moved to the Cotswolds, after listing their massive Montecito estate north of Los Angeles. Ellen DeGeneres, 66, and her partner Portia de Rozier are facing a challenging start to new life in the UK following Donald Trump's presidential when the couple relocated to picturesque 6-bedroom farmhouse in the Cotswolds. However, their welcome to the country was marred by disaster when the 43-acre property was flooded during the intense storm Bert, which brought days of heavy rain, 80-mile-an-hour winds. According to TMZ, which cited a source with direct knowledge, the driving force behind the relocation was Trump's win. DeGeneres was also a high-profile donor to Vice President Harris, contributing $3,300 to her campaign. Yeah, well, karma's a bitch. You should have voted for Donald Trump. You should have voted for Donald Trump, Ellen. Or Ellen, excuse me. I hope she took her costume with her. Yeah, I hope so, too. Yeah, hopefully she stops making her crap. Did she stop making her crappy, boring show? Light Rain said a 6'6" tall liberal told me he couldn't imagine ever needing a gun for protection. You've never been raped? Stopped his prattling. Exactly right. Was she not already ousted? I don't know. Yeah, she tried to copy Oprah and Winfrey's show. It was pretty lame. Couldn't have happened to a nicer person. Not exactly. Yeah, years ago. I don't know, Dylan. I haven't watched that. Ellen DeGeneres was briefly entertaining. She's just annoying. She's hyperactive and annoying. Anyway, folks, it's Sunday, December 1st, 2024. And I think that my November, I had one more day last year before the meter started counting. But I think I wound up with less electricity this year than I did last year. Let's take a look. Now, remember at the peak in June, I had over a megawatt, 1.2 megawatts of power generated in 1 month. Now, let's compare that to November. And this is a problem with solar panel or power. So in November of this year, I got a total of 542 megawatts, or 542 kilowatts. I wish it was megawatts. 542 kilowatts of electricity this November. Last year, November, it was 557. So I'm 15 kilowatts less than last year. 42. Last year was 57. Yeah, 15 kilowatts less, and that's an additional day more. So that's less than last year. And I'm approaching 10 megawatts of power generated on the panels in just over a year. So it's a year and a month now, 13 months, at 9.94 megawatts. So I might make it to 10 by the end of the year, but it doesn't look like I'm going to get there because I don't think I can get 600 megawatts in December. So it had to be in January, and I finally hit 600 kilowatts. I finally hit the megawatts. So yeah, today it's 7.7. Let's look at the day. Week, here we go, for the week. All right. For the week, it's 7.8 today, starting off the month. Yesterday I had 13. No, yesterday I had 23. Yesterday was a good day. I had 7, then 13, and then 23 of the last 3 days. So today I'm at 7.8. So there you go. Anyway, so 31 degrees outside right now, 1 degree below freezing. Erica just gave a super chat. Why are these not coming up? They're not coming up on the screen. Let me see if that's turned off. The announcements. Alert box is turned off. Damn it. That's why. Okay, how did that happen? Must have turned off by mistake. That's 2 super chats. Thank you for the super chat, Erica. Where's Arctic at? Where's Skinflint at? Richard says, I never met a woman in my life but came close. Never hit a woman, sorry. My wife and I booked into a hotel after paying the female person. Said 600 Rand for female companionship. My wife walked in. Whoa. Oh, she thought your wife was a hoe? That's crazy. Wow. But for what function did BlackRock? Pablo Charlie, what are you going on about BlackRock? What are you going on about BlackRock? That's not really important, is it now? It's not germane. I'm not working for BlackRock, so there you go. So why are you talking about BlackRock? I don't understand why the conversation is going on about that. Anyway, yeah, the alert box was off for some reason, so I've turned it back on. So anybody wants to super chat, you should get notification now. All right, 74 people currently here, 75 likes. That's all we got, 75 likes. That sucks buttermilk. What's that all about? By the way, The Ronaldo is going live now. He's a few minutes late. I wonder if what's going on. John Fenedinger just became a 4-tracker over there. Congratulations to him. And Charmaine has already banned us. She's over there. Futsarko doesn't come here anymore. Alan Coates has already banned us. Leon is over there. They're over there at Ronaldo. Let's see what he's got to say.
Sorry, how's it going? What's news? Everybody all right? Great, awesome. Watching the Formula One. Thank you to Daniel Zima, Pierre, and John Venediger for becoming members. It's greatly appreciated. I see it here on the side, and all of them seem to have happened today.
Oh, Charmaine's still here, and she's over there. She's dual tasking. That must really mess up the sound if she's listening to both of us. One of us must be on silent.
How's it to NWA, Futzako, Charmaine, Haysamen, Dan?
NWA, that's like Chris Rock, NWP.
How's it going, everybody?
Blanks with puppets.
You are doing right. How's it, Freelance Kate? How's it, The Scientist? They robbed Norris. The penalty was too harsh. It was insane. It was an absolutely insane penalty.
What penalty?
And they didn't
Formula One
for 4 laps. They didn't do anything to clear the track for 4
I'm
laps.
sorry, that's too boring.
After debris was
that doesn't do it for me.
But anyway, yeah, it's insane.
Sorry, Formula One doesn't do it for me, folks. Doesn't do it for me. Not going to cut the mustard. Anyway, so Ronaldo's over there. Look at 10 people left when I put Ronaldo on. They probably went to Ronaldo. Anyway, got a few more likes. Thank you for that. What are you drinking? It's a Frappuccino. It's a Frappuccino from Starbucks. Yep. So, what are you drinking? F1 is great, says Pablo Charlie. Hendo says boring F1. We agree, Hendo. Charles doesn't like failed politicians. Well, I never became a politician. I gave it a shot, it didn't work. So I never became one, so I'm not a failed one. Oh my goodness. All right, folks. Sunday, Formula One golf, rather watch paint drying. Marilyn, I'm with you on that. So here's Formula One. Vroom, 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 vroom. Yep, that's it is. Win is better. What is that? What is win? Used to be good, no longer. Yeah, I never really found it all interesting. Although I finally, went to a NASCAR event down in Dover, Delaware. That was pretty cool. Pablo says not true. Pablo's number one job lately is to contradict me everything I say. Pablo, the sky is blue. He's going to tell me it's green. Pablo, Fahrenheit's better than Celsius. Exactly, Charles. 60-odd laps later. Vroom, vroom. I don't know what that win. What is that? Win is better. Oh, Wein. Is that wine? Is that Wein? Is that Afrikaans for wine? Wein. Ja, ein bisschen Wein. Ja, aber im Himmel gibt's Bier, kein Bier. Darum trinken wir es hier. Ja, so sagt man. Wir trinken Bier hier am Erde. Ja, okay. Na, was ist denn hier eigentlich los? Okay, gar nichts. Okay, all right. So the grass is green, the sky is blue. Pablo, yeah, since they put all the rules on engines, F1 has become boring. Yep. Okay, PK, I didn't know if you were, I thought that was spelled differently in Afrikaans, but anyway, so you guys are great as always. I hope you enjoyed the analysis of the news and the conversation about the news. Been a busy November, what with the elections at the beginning and then all the events happening since then. Yep. Marilyn says it's always been boring. I don't know. If I was in Monte Carlo, is that Formula One when they go through Monte Carlo? That would be pretty cool because Monte Carlo is like twists and turns, up and down hills, switchbacks and everything. I was in Monte Carlo. It's interesting because I spent my time on the middle of Monte Carlo and the eastern side of Monte Carlo, whereas the first time I was there, I was on the western side of Monte Carlo on the other side of the hill, and it felt very different. Ken says I blocked him. He's bugging. He's not bugging me. I'm having fun with him, Ken. Just having fun with him. He's being silly. Anyway, yeah, Monte Carlo. Man, it was pretty cool. So I was just there during the World Cup. I need to sit down and make a list of all the games I went to in the World Cup. That's what I need to do. Because I've forgotten, and people keep asking. I need to make a master list of the games I went to in World Cups. Yep, that's what I should do. It's going to be, I think, relatively easy for most of the World Cups except for the France one because I don't have the actual physical tickets because the bastards don't issue tickets anymore. So let me go back to the France game and see which games I went to. because I add games once it gets started. It isn't always easy. So France, I have the actual, like on Facebook, I actually made a PowerPoint of all the games I went to in New Zealand, which was pretty cool. Which I over time my memory embellished. I thought that I went to more, which I hadn't gotten to more. But let me go to France 2023 and see what I can find for ticket sales. Because, okay, notification, customer service, order confirmed, France. Okay. Are the ticket sales even in here? I'm looking. Oh, here we go. It hasn't given me all my data. Oh, there we go. It goes back to 2021, France World Cup. Okay, first tickets I bought in the World Cup were on March 15th of 2021, 2 years before the World Cup, when I bought the South Africa packet. You have no idea what I paid for this. I paid in 3 payments, 330 Rand to go to those 4 games, and I got crappy seats. I sat in the top row in the game against Ireland. Yeah, wow. Yep. And the game against Scotland was the best seat I had. Yep. Then the Romania game was not a good seat. I was sitting at the end again. 330 euros for those damn tickets. I bought that 2 years before the World Cup, March 15th, 2021. That was the first tickets I had. Okay. Yep. It was March 15th. And then when was the next one here? Okay. Yeah. So that's how far I plan these things out in advance. Yep. This time around, they're not doing it so early. I don't know what their deal is. Because Australia's the next one. Let me see what else I got here. So that's your order is confirmed. I can find the next one. Okay, the next one was on September when they opened it up. In September, I got Italy versus Africa 1 and Argentina versus Samoa. Okay. And then what was the next one I got? That's how they did. I didn't like how they did this. They broke this up, and making a plan when the tickets aren't all available at the same time is just annoying. The new tickets on the 28th. So let's see what happened on the 28th. Your order is confirmed. Okay, that was Italy versus Africa. Okay, that's the one I already had. So that's strange. Oh, that's right. They screwed up my order. Anyway, yeah, your order is confirmed. Then in January of 2023, Italy versus Uruguay. And then Uruguay versus Namibia. Yep, so that was the cheapest one I got. Uruguay versus Namibia, I paid 35 Rand or 35 euros for a ticket. That was the cheapest one I had. Yep, cool. That's still pretty expensive for a ticket. Anyway, I have lots of unread messages in this folder, so I just never read nonsense that came in. Anyway. So I'm going to go through and delete a bunch of the stuff eventually, these messages. Whoops, that's not what I want. All right, cool. Anyway. Yeah, so I need to make a list of all the games I've been to. I have tickets for the previous ones, but now not anymore because they're all electronic. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Anyway, silly nonsense. And they just inundate you with emails when you sign up for this crap. There's the car rentals. Oops, that's not what I want. Anyway, enough of that nonsense, folks. Enough of that nonsense. We're going to release this here and send you guys. For those who are interested, you can go over from here to Ronaldo. It'll take you over there automatically when I wrap up. So we're going to do that. Okay? Thanks a lot for being here. Okay? Icebine. Ooh, not my cup of tea. That's a South African thing. All right, folks. You guys take care. Thanks for being here. Happy Christmas is what the Brits say, but Merry Christmas, everybody. And we're going to wrap it up. Thanks for being here. Catch you all later. It's Sunday, December 1st. Cheers. Take care of yourselves.